Liebe Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, ich werde jetzt wieder ins Englische wechseln, damit ich unseren nächsten Gast auch gebührend anmoderieren kann. I'm back to English now, so I can appropriately introduce our new guest. And I have to say, we're especially delighted that he decided to share his thoughts on digital transformation today here with us. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing what he has to say to this topic. Please welcome with us EU Commissioner Thierry Breton. Bonjour, monsieur.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Please, thanks for joining us, and the stage is yours. We're very happy to listen to you now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good afternoon all. Of course, I would like first to congratulate each of you for making this edition of Smart Country Convention happen digitally. I will have preferred, needless to say, to do it from Berlin. My daughter, my grandchildren live in Berlin, but that's unfortunately the way we are and what we have to do to cope with the circumstances. Yes, this crisis is a test for our resilience, which also means we have now opportunity and the need to put our resilience fully at the center of our policies. For example, one of the lessons that we learned during the crisis is the centrality of digital for our lives and for our economy. Of course, we consulted doctors, teachers, explored digital platforms to engage with their classroom. They did it. Unfortunately, they may have to do it again. Companies who best survived that difficult period are those who exploited digital technology the most. And definitely, digital technology makes us resilient. Yet we also realize how dependent Europe is in some critical areas on technologies coming from elsewhere. Minister Elkomas gave his remark this morning on digital sovereignty. This is, by the way, a concept which has been pushed by the Chancellor, and of course, I fully agree with this concept. That's extremely important for our continent. It must be, in fact, at the heart of Europe Digital Decade, and of course, at the heart of our future in Europe. But let me be absolutely clear on this. When I speak about Europe's resilience, or we call it sometimes sovereignty or strategic autonomy, we are not, of course, talking about a continent isolated from the rest of the world. I've been working myself in technology for the past 30 years, even more. And I know, of course, very well that when you're working in digital technologies, we're talking about partnerships. We're working about global world exchanges, but we're talking also of being able to have some areas where we have some strengths and where we have also leadership. And of course, this is exactly what I want for our continent, to make sure that we'll be able to have some leadership positions, to be able, again, to negotiate on a balanced way and not to be too dependent from others when it's needed. And of course, you know that we have put in place this very important program, Next Generation EU. By the way, for the first time of the history, Europe will borrow a very large amount, 750 billion euros. That's absolutely huge. And I worked personally extremely hard to make sure that we will be able to use part of this money for our digital transition. And by the way, as you probably know, member states will have to come back to us with their own recovery plan. And we will make sure that in this recovery plan, at least 20% of the plans are focused on digital transition, digital project, flagships, and stuff like this. That's roughly around 150 billion euros. So that's a very significant amount to enhance, again, our digital transition. So I would like to move now on about data. When we speak about digital, of course, we need to speak about data. And that's absolutely crucial. I have been extremely keen since the very first day I'm a commissioner here in the Commission to make sure that we will put data at the center of our strategy when we speak about digital, when we speak about AI, when we speak about computing, edge computing, and of course cloud or everything which is related. Let's come back on the origination of data. Public administration across Europe, both national and regional, are, between others, producer of valuable data sets and holders. And to keep up the pace with the digital transformation, the public sector must live up to its role as a major data provider. I've been myself witnessing in my life many startups who had fantastic creative ideas how to use this public data on an anonymized way, of course, to offer services. And that's fascinating what we can do with it. So you know that the regulation of European data governance will soon be adopted, and the regulation will set up a basis for the creation of common European data spaces in essential sectors like health, manufacturing, Industry 4.0, and so on, mobility, to ensure the seamless, secure, and privacy-compliant flow of data. Of course, the power of data will allow better, faster, and more transparent provision of services of public interest while leveraging the innovative potential of GovTech applications. That's, again, an area when I will be very happy to discuss more. But that's again, the origination of a lot of innovation for Europe. One word on cloud. Of course, data requires cloud services and infrastructures to ensure its secure use. And we are currently working in full speed to make it a reality through the setup of a European Alliance for Industrial Data and Cloud. And bringing together key industry partners and member states, it will be the driver of an ambitious journey towards autonomous European clouds. This alliance could be the natural progression at European level of important national initiatives on cloud infrastructure, so of course, as the Franco-German Gaia X initiative. And by the way, to be even more precise here, we used the initiative launched by my friend, Minister Peter Altmaier, and also his counterpart Bruno Le Maire in France, when they decided to launch Gaia X, to enhance it and to propose now a European Alliance for Industrial Data and Cloud, based again on this first alliance that they have built together with industrialists and other players. One word on e-government now. The COVID-19 crisis strengthened as well our commitment for strengthened digital government. And this is why e-government is another very important priority area, both for investment and for update regulatory framework. Over the last year, as you know, the EU improved a lot, I may say so, in the digital provision and access to public services. And more services are available through digital technologies, and more citizens use those technologies to get in touch with their public administration, most of the time accessing it through digital ID solutions. This is happening across the whole Europe, and during the crisis, this trend has increased furthermore. And here I would like to say one word on what I call the digital twin. As more and more data about our digital experience are collected and stored into different places, it is as if a sort of digital twin is being created for each of us and for each of our companies. Therefore, it's not a surprise that the European Council called us earlier this month to present a system for an EU-wide digital identification architecture. As you probably know, President von der Leyen announced herself that Europe will soon have a new framework giving our citizens a secure and data protection compliant solution for digital IDs. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are talking about here is not just an identification system to avoid remembering hundreds of passwords. We are talking about the key to access and control our own digital twin. It is at the core of the digital citizenship. And this key must firmly be in the hands of each European citizen. Each European should have a full control of all the data available about themselves and be able to decide which data he or she will make available at any time to any public or private service provider. It is, of course, the responsibility of the EU and of member states authorities to ensure that the regulatory framework puts this in place. It is not a small challenge, I know this extremely well, but it is, of course, one of the many we have ahead of us. So, as a conclusion, I just wanted to, after this brief keynote, to tell you that Europe has all it takes to take its future in its hands, to take full advantage of the next wave of data, mainly the industrial data, which will be huge, much more important than the personal data wave, to empower its citizens to enter into the so-called digital decade. So let's work all together to make this a reality, and thank you very much to give me the opportunity to exchange with you on these very important topics today. Thank you very much.
Monsieur Breton, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup for sharing your thoughts here today with us. Thank you very much.
Danke sehr.
Danke Ihnen. Ja, und was soll ich sagen, liebe Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, damit neigt sich unser Programm für heute dem Ende zu. Ich bedanke mich bei Ihnen, dass Sie so zahlreich auch digital, virtuell hier vorbeigeschaut haben. Ich hoffe, Ihnen hat unser Programm gefallen. Und ja, ich muss mich auch ein bisschen entschuldigen dafür, dass es eben leichte technische Störungen gegeben hat. Wir arbeiten natürlich fieberhaft daran, dass das so nicht mehr vorkommt morgen. Und ich kann Ihnen aber auch noch eine gute Nachricht mitgeben. Alles, was Sie eventuell dadurch verpasst haben, können Sie natürlich jederzeit online hier auf unserer Plattform On Demand nochmal abrufen. Also verpasst haben Sie auf jeden Fall nichts. Jetzt möchte ich nochmal darauf hinweisen, was uns morgen alles erwartet. Da ist nämlich jede Menge los, auch wieder zum Beispiel das Forum Digitale Städte, in den letzten Jahren immer ein absoluter Publikumsliebling, möchte ich Ihnen auf jeden Fall ans Herz legen. Bitkom Smart City Award, auch wirklich eine tolle Sache. Auch das Thema Nachhaltigkeit werden wir morgen nochmal ein bisschen genauer beleuchten. Also es erwartet Sie hier einiges. Ich freue mich auf Sie und ich hoffe, dass Sie auch morgen an gleicher Stelle wieder dabei sind. Tschüss.